righty. Oh, forgot the overlay already. Look at that. Crushing it. Welcome to the show. Week 15. We have Katie and Tim Hooper with me. Thanks for helping me out, guys.
No problem.
Let's go over the matches for me while I fix some cameras here.
Yeah, so week 15 in the Cargill division is a short week. We only have 3 matches this week, starting off with Pin Sanity all the way over in PEI against the Eclipse. And then following that game, we have the Northern Knockouts versus Pin Sanity, and then the Eclipse versus the Northern Knockouts. So it's going to be a pretty good week with lots of good matches here.
Yeah,
that's okay. Yeah. So, I mean, these teams are all 3 of the teams that are kind of sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard. 2 games left for the Northern Knockout, so this will be their last day of the season. We still have 4 games left for the Eclipse and 5 for Pin Sanity. So there's still some room for a little bit of movement here, but these teams are definitely going to be competitive with today.
Absolutely. As we saw last week with the Misfits, who were well down the standings, they had a really good week and they went rocketing up the standings, and now they're right in contention. So be interesting to see if the Eclipse or Pin Sanity can do this today.
Exactly. Yeah. It's that kind of time in the season where like things are starting to level out, but like there's still a lot of uncertainty in those standings and lots of teams that can still squeak their way in. And depending on what happens at the top, people can help each other out a little bit with just points going one way or another. And you never know what's going to happen in those final weeks, but
absolutely, it should be a good morning.
Yeah. Can we bring in our managers and start kind of asking them some questions here?
You bet.
Okay.
One second here.
We're going to bring in the managers or the acting manager for the Eclipse. It looks like Chris Bradford's going to be chatting with us today, and also Alan Clark from Pin Sanity. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How's things going with you guys?
Oh, fantastic.
Great, thanks.
Great. So we'll start over on the Pin Sanity side. How's your morning looking over there? I know you guys have had crazy winter weather lately. Kind of settled down.
Nice and mild today. No problem with the traveling, and everybody's here ready to go.
Amazing. The last time, I can't remember if it was your last match, but the last time I commentated with you guys, you were coming off that big pie against the Bombers. How are you using that moving into today's matches?
Coach wasn't here the last week. Yeah, I think everybody's up for it. Hoping to improve upon last week or a couple weeks ago.
Amazing.
And for the Eclipse, your opponents have a bit of an advantage because it's noon for them. What is it, 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. in Vernon?
Yeah, 8, just after 8.
Yes, it's a bit of an early start. Is everybody awake? What's the team feeling?
Yeah, it seems like we're all awake, all 5 of us. We're missing one. But...
Everybody was drunk here last night, so nobody was up till 11 o'clock this morning.
I think there were a few last night that were doing a fundraiser or something, and they're looking a little under the weather, but they'll be fine.
But they're there. They're ready to throw balls.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Love
and
that.
you guys are a little bit down in the standings, but still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think we both.
What's the team feeling?
Both need big weeks, for sure.
Yeah.
Get a chance for our final week next week. So.
For sure.
Excellent.
Which team is away?
Insanity.
Do you want to go over lineup for us?
We have Justin, Joni, Amy, John, and MJ. And on the bench, we have.
And then over Mr. Bradford.
Oh, whatever the guy threw in the computer, really, I think. It's myself, followed by Yvonne, and then Jesse, Drew in fourth, and then Mike. finishing us off.
Okay. And do you have anybody on the bench today?
No, Bailey is running a little tad behind. He apparently slept in this morning.
Okay. Well,
He'll
so
be
you
here
guys,
fourth or fifth frame.
okay. And then he'll be on your bench.
He will
when
be on the bench. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
Are you good tech side there, Sites?
You bet. Let's rock
All
and roll.
right. Then we are
Good
good
luck,
to
guys.
go. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck, John.
All right. Here we go. Hopefully everything looks good.
Yep. We're good to go.
Perfect.
I didn't realize Cargill was only 3 games this week.
Yeah, it's a short week. Short
Oh.
week.
That's so nice. Signed into the computer at 5 to 9 and went, wow, what a nice treat.
I'm sure people are getting sick and tired of the 4-hour 5 p.m. mornings, but hopefully this will be all right.
I'm sure it'll be good.
So, Okanagan Eclipse here at Lincoln Lanes, their pro score system, they kind of project the camera at the score desk, and as we can see, the score desk is kind of moved, so totals will be kind of tough, names are tough.
What a clear shot of that strike by Bradford.
Yeah.
And a matching
really?
one over to Justin on the other side.
A failure on Bailey Lawson, manager of the team, eh?
Manager player letting everyone down this morning.
He will. I'm sure he'll be hearing this for weeks afterwards.
I can't wait for the post-game interview with him. Like, what the team should definitely be on him for that one. I feel like if a Dream Crusher were to sleep in and not show up to the match, we would not let that go.
Yeah, all through the day, all through lunch, and probably the next couple weeks.
Yeah, like the entire season.
Yeah.
Got a hot start here for the Eclipse. 3 strikes out of the hopper.
2 marks up top for the Pin Sanity. Ooh.
Another strike over on Eclipse. So this is what you're supposed to do when you start playing a pro league match. Throw marks. That's what we've been missing. Amy looking to get her spare.
Sure. Think she got it.
Wow.
Over for the Eclipse, it looks like Mike punched in his first frame, but still a solid start for the Eclipse.
So them going with Mary Jo as the anchor here over Mr. Walsh.
It's an interesting decision, although you know what, it's not like they've got a lot to lose.
No.
And sometimes speaking as a coach, sometimes mixing up the lineup is the way to go.
And Mary Jo was really good against the Bombers and carried the team.
Yeah, I was just gonna say she is like he wasn't there last time when they were playing against the Bombers, and Mary Jo was in the bottom, and she was solid the entire game, all the way through. So that's definitely not a surprising choice to me. I don't think. I think she played well there and deserved to be there. So
yeah. Plus, if you look at the stats, she's averaging the high on the team at just a shade under 256.
Right.
Another bomb there.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
On the trend.
All right, so starting up frame 2 here. Both teams off to a pretty good start.
And
Oh, and just doesn't get that corner to carry.
no. Yeah, it looked like a decent enough shot.
Mm-hmm. And misses the spare.
Hands the early advantage over to Justin, who looks like he threw a strike in 2 to double up.
Misses the spare over on the Pin Sanity side as well.
Mm-hmm. I think that was a head pin for Yvonne. Nice shot by Amy there.
See if I can get a running total here for the Eclipse.
Oh, and a great pick there by Amy.
Yeah, so she's gone a corner spare.
Nothing wrong with that start. Another great strike over on the Eclipse side for Jesse. Starting with a double.
Yeah, and this might be the one time where corner spare is not so great as when your opponent throws a double at you.
For sure. At least though, she's keeping it close, getting those marks as long as you can do as little damage as possible to get yourself in as good of a spot as possible after the first few frames. Anything can happen in that last half.
Absolutely. And that seems to be the running theme this year, is that whatever team comes out hottest out of the commercial break after 5 generally seems to be winning.
Yeah. All right. See if Mary Jo can keep it rolling over here.
Looked pretty good.
Yeah. Great ball.
So you got doubles top and bottom for Pin Sanity. And a double in the middle for Eclipse.
And a little unicorn sighting. All right. Oh, head pin over
head pin.
side.
This will give Justin a chance to really take control early of this first match.
And chop off over on Pin Sanity.
So just to double check for those people listening at home and are maybe not sure about this, this is the first year in the Pro League for Pin Sanity?
It is, yes. They came in during the expansion that happened in the off season. Oh, great chop spare.
Very nice.
So much talent on that team, right? They have so much national experience.
Yeah, I mean, you start with John Walsh and all of his singles championships, and then you just work your way down.
Yeah, we had Mary Jo on the ladies podcast a few months ago, and the list of credentials that she has going on in her repertoire is outrageous. We could do a whole hour show just on Mary Jo.
It's fantastic to see representation in the pro league from the maritime provinces. Because we out here, especially in the West, we tend to not hear a lot about them.
Right. And the talent, like when you look at the Maritimes in the last 5 years, the averages, the competitiveness has just been going up every year. You look at like out of Newfoundland, the ladies team from there has won a few national medals, and like it's just been an upward climb.
Absolutely. I mean, last March, the Youth Challenge Nationals were in Winnipeg, and I had the privilege of judge a plane for that, and I was really impressed with the quality of play from, I mean, not just Newfoundland, Labrador, but also the Prince Edward Island has a lot of good young bowlers, and so did Nova Scotia.
Yep. Little bit of a miss there from Amy, but a spare here is going to still keep her match very close, with Jessie getting the 5 spare on her double.
Right.
Oh, nice. And we've got the running total.
Yep.
Keep it up to bowler for bowler, hopefully. And hopefully that's accurate. I don't even know if that's true or not.
If what's true?
The total.
Oh. We'll have Scott Clays in for Joni over on the Pin Sanity side in the 2 hole.
Oops.
So I'm assuming that'll start for frame 4. John looking to get something going for Pin Sanity over here in the 3rd frame to give them something to go into frame 4 with. We do have that chop spare working up at the top, but give them something at the bottom as well.
Just a miss right. But his opponent only has the spare up in 3 as well, so we can pick this up. It's not the end of the world.
Right. And that match really is within a ball at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, and he misses, which is big for that count on the strike. So he can get his match up to 48 against the 55 over on the Eclipse side, but they do have that spare working. He punches out the middle.
So going to be down 12 in a ball. Just to keep the momentum going, you almost get the sense that Mary Jo needs to do something here. I mean, I know it's still early in the match, but it's not a lot up on the board in 3 for Pin Sanity right now.
No. Oh. Misses left. Going to be looking to get that spare. That looked like it got out on the lane a little better.
Yeah.
And great shot.
Great shot.
That's a good start. Double and a spare.
Yep. I'd take that any day.
Yep. Especially as a dream crusher.
Yeah. Too soon. Too soon.
So through 3 frames, that's a very narrow lead for Pin Sanity, but extra ball of count for the Eclipse, so it's basically tied right now.
Oh, heavy on the middle there.
Yeah. Just punches it out. Bradford going to be looking to get something going. At this point, if he didn't get a strike in 4, I would assume that they would start looking at a pull, except that Bailey obviously slept in and didn't get out of bed. So unfortunately, he's just going to have to keep grinding this one out for a little while longer. I'm going to put that out there so many times today.
But as much as we're joking about it, it really does handcuff the team.
It does, 100%. I mean, when you look at that one spot, that game, it's not run away from the Pin Sanity side at this point. Like Justin punching in 4 definitely keeps it a little bit closer for Bradford, but he does have the advantage over on that Pin Sanity side. And at this point, if I were looking at this team, this would be a prime spot to make that pull because the match is still close enough that it can easily get flipped the other way.
Exactly.
I mean, most of their other matches are fairly close, so it's probably that would be the match that we would be looking at in this situation. But and then I guess you have to wonder the other side of it too is, okay, so Bailey shows up in frame 5. How much time does he need to warm up before he's an option to viably put into the game? Because he will be coming in cold, probably a little frazzled. And is that a better choice than what you already have rolling? I don't know.
It's definitely a lot of things to consider. I mean, obviously the commercial break helps a little bit there because if he does show up, say, early 5th frame, he can use those 2 or 3 minutes to throw balls on another set of lanes.
Yeah, exactly. Put some time in. Ooh,
Good kick.
Wish. Little bit of like a fist bump over there on Pin Sanity.
So Scott comes in, throws his first 3 balls in anger. I think it was 13 for the frame.
All right, Amy looking to keep it rolling here. Get back on it. Just left again. Almost looks like the timing's just a little bit off, pushing it over to the left instead of just letting the ball naturally carry out. And then maybe a little bit of an overcompensation there.
Right. Meanwhile, for the Eclipse, Mike picked up the spare. That was a good frame for them. 3 strikes and a spare with the double count in the 2 spot.
They had a great frame there over on the Eclipse side besides the double punch by
Bradford.
But John and Mary Jo looking to clean up this frame for Pin Sanity and get them into the 5th frame close in total still.
Yeah, and again, just looking at the frame that's taken place in front of them, again, just for the sake of team momentum, you almost think they need to get a couple of marks here.
And there's the first one. That was a great shot.
Yeah, that is the John Walsh we all know and love.
Mary Jo looking to keep it going.
That's just a little left again. Looks better.
Oh, I thought it looked like it was leaning there for a second.
Yeah.
Close.
Did look close. So definite advantage for the Eclipse now through 4, but again, still close enough that anything can happen.
for sure. This is definitely not leaning super heavy one way or another. The only thing is the Eclipse do have all of those marks working.
On the one
So
double.
we could start to see that pinfall take a little bit of a runaway.
Yeah, it's not out of the question that this lead goes from 25-30 out to 60 or 70 after this frame.
Oh, and Bradford gets a slider. He needed that one after a few head pins. Justin looking to answer, and he gets a great shot.
Yeah. After a tough frame for Pin Sanity, that's a good way for them to get it back on the rails.
Yeah. So Scott in here for frame 5. Looking to get something going here for that 2-hole, especially with Eclipse working on that double. They get a little bit of a break here with the miss in the 5th frame.
Oh, Scott.
And a great shot over on Pin Sanity. Took that frame 4 to kind of warm up a little bit coming in off the bench, but throwing a bomb in 5. And just like that, with that punch there, that's going to keep things a little bit more interesting in that 2-hole.
For sure. And at the bottom.
Oh, punch for Amy.
So here's an opportunity now where this match in the 3 spot could potentially start to get away a little bit. Looked like a good shot for Jesse, just corner wouldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
Just misses the spare.
Another little bit of a misstep from John. Not quite as consistent as we've seen him play in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like John made the spare, drew through a good shot, got tapped, picks up his spare as well.
All right. And great matching strikes over on both feeds.
Sweet. So we're going to be heading into the commercial break after 5. It's 5:40 for the Eclipse, 4:73 for Pin Sanity. We'll see you folks in 3 minutes.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, back to the action. 473 to 540.
We got a few marks working on both sides.
Another unicorn sighting.
I believe Bailey Lawson has made it to the bowling alley. We'll see what happens in the second half with him.
So I suppose with that in mind, just as a public service announcement for all those Pro League teams playing next week, it's next week's time change weekend. Make sure you set your clocks properly.
Is that us? Do we play next weekend?
No, we don't play till the last week of the league.
Amazing. Perfect.
But I was already contacted by the Regina Avengers, just making sure, because they don't time change, so they needed to double check.
Really understand. So Bradford throws that double up top coming out of the commercial break. We have a little bit of a misstep over in this 2-hole here with a 3-pin.
And for Pin Sanity, Justin threw the strike up top as well.
Oh, and another big one. He's happy about that. Fired up. 2 doubles at the top for Pin Sanity.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because it seems to happen every match. One team comes out really hot out of the break.
And then we have the 3 spare over on the Eclipse side. So that's going to keep that match close with the double working over on Pin Sanity and then the 3 spare over on the Eclipse. Yeah. Jessie finds it again after her miss open frame last one.
Right.
Gets the strike. And Amy looking to follow up that double at the top.
Yeah. Another strike for the Eclipse with Drew in the 4 spot.
Looks like they might have a ball jam or something going on at Rustico right at the moment.
Yeah. It's never a great sign when you see somebody walking down the catwalk on the side there.
No.
Well, it looks like they just need a reset on the lane here. And that was a great frame for the Eclipse. They didn't waste any time. They didn't wait around to see what Pin Sanity was doing. Capitalized on the marks that they had on the board with everybody putting a mark on top of them, and then they have 5 working going into frame 7.
Including that double. A good shot for Amy. Just couldn't get the left corner to go.
So spare here is going to be pretty crucial for Amy. You know, when you look at Jessie's match, she just had that one frame where she opened up, but then was back on it with a strike. So she does have quite a commanding lead going into those last 4 frames. You really don't want to let that gap get any bigger at this point.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because, I mean, even if it does stay at 50, 60 points and your match is done, I mean, it's as long as it doesn't get too much wider, you still have a shot at the total.
For sure.
So
John looking to regroup after the first half of the game. 88-5, probably not exactly where he'd want to be at this point, but we do know that he is someone who could just come back and fire it off the last half.
Yeah.
So, and there's the first one.
First one for sure. I was going to say, and probably the more of a concern to him would be the fact that he missed 3 times in the first 5 frames.
Right. All right. And Mary Jo looking to close out this frame. Great start for Pin Sanity coming out of the commercial break with 4 marks up top. 3 strikes and a spare, and 2 of those strikes are making doubles. And she gets the strike also. So that's a great frame for both teams coming out of the commercial break.
Yeah, we could be in for some fireworks in the last half of this game now.
All right, looking to see what Justin and Bradford can do on their doubles. Neither one of them wasting any time getting up on the lane. Bradford gets his turkey and a little bit of a miss from Justin.
Yeah.
I think Chris didn't really like that I was talking about how I would pull him after frame 4. Be a fool out of me throwing a turkey right after. It wasn't about you. It was more just to give a jab at Bailey.
But you know what? Sometimes it's amazing how that goes too. That just even the thought that you might be in danger of getting substituted can be enough motivation to get you going again.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, at this level, everybody kind of can look at the scoreboard and know when they're in jeopardy of having that pull. So it's not really a secret to anybody when that is crossing people's minds.
When the hook is out.
When the hook is out, you know your leash is getting shorter and shorter.
Sure. Well, that's when you throw your shot and you walk backwards, back off the approach so you don't make eye contact with the coach.
Blinders up. Don't make eye contact. I don't see you. You don't see me. Usually by that point, though, I'm like, just get me out of here. All right. Huge turkey over there.
For Scott. Yeah, suddenly that second match is really close, and with the double count coming up, it's an advantage Scott actually.
Yeah. So this is just what you want from a bench player, right? Coming into the match, you're down and being able to kind of swing that momentum the other way and maybe steal a point back. Great half for Jessie.
Just keeps that score ticking over. I mean, 30s never hurt you.
No, if you keep putting marks up there when you already have a little bit of an advantage, you're going to just be able to kind of cruise to the end of the game.
Nick McRae went in for Amy.
Nope, not for. Is it for Amy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cleans up the head pin.
We have open there for Drew in the 4 spots. This now gives John a chance to really close the gap.
Oh, great shot by John.
Very nice.
So he gets the double there, and just like that with Eclipse opening in the 4 hole, that match is really close as well within a ball.
For sure. Mary Jo working on the double count. There's a chance to now bring total really close as well.
She gets a break with that chop off. Looked like it could have been a head pin, but just pushed off to the side. Oh, did she get a
Actually, I
chop
think
or
it is a split.
Oh, a split. Oh, I thought that corner pin fell too. That's the 3 pin. That match is still really close though. Even though we do have the mark over in the 10th or the 7th frame on Eclipse, it's still very close match.
Yeah, certainly within 8-10 points, most likely.
So Pin Sanity going into 8, 9, 10 has the 2 doubles working in the 2 and 4 hole. Over on Eclipse side, we got a double up top with Chris Bradford, a spare, and then a strike at the bottom. So pretty even on marks.
Yeah.
Total's fairly close at this point. It's going to be coming down to the last few frames.
It's cliched, but yeah, basically whoever's going to win 8, 9, and 10 here is likely going to win the match.
Justin looking to regroup. Last frame was the first time he missed the middle of this match. And gets another bomb. And so does Bradford. Great shots by both of them. Bradford still with a little bit of an advantage there, having that double working. But anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. As we've said, you're one mistake away from having this turn on its head. And if I'm not mistaken, that looks like Bailey Lawson.
It is a Bailey Lawson sighting.
Made his appearance.
You know what? Maybe it was for the best that he slept in, because he for sure would have gone in the 4th frame at the top. And then it turned out that Bradford turned it around and threw 4 in a row. So maybe it was just meant to be that he didn't get his butt out of bed.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly. Great shot by Jessie. She's just been steady this whole game. That one misstep in 5 where she missed her corner spare, but other than that, she's been keeping it clean, keeping it black.
That Amy and Nick match is having troubles putting strikes up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great shot. Just couldn't get that corner pin to go.
For sure. And it's going to definitely want to make this spare.
Which does. So that's going to put some pressure on John here to capitalize on the double he is working.
Yeah.
Not only for his match, but also for team total.
Didn't go in. She goes.
Definitely slid that one down.
He just slowly walks off the lane. So has the advantage over on the Pin Sanity side in that match. Those 2 doubles that Scott and John threw are huge for team total to match with Bradford going at the top. and to kind of counteract that 3-hole where there's quite a bit of a difference in points. So they really have to capitalize on those strikes that they have working to make up the difference. Another,
Ooh, another 3-pin spare.
and that's a great frame. 3 spares,
sure.
strikes, one of those being a double. Mary Jo just misses to the right. She's going to be looking to get a spare here. So they have a couple marks working going into 9.
It's just within a couple balls here. Matches are tight.
All the matches are tight. I mean, a spare here is going to put this match. There it is. Great shot.
It is.
So within 4 going into 2 frames to go. So
yeah, both on a spare there in the anchor match. Got 9 balls of count up coming for Pin Sanity, 8 for the Eclipse. It's definitely anybody's game right now.
40 pins of total.
Yeah.
Easily could go either direction. Justin likes it. He gets the push, and Bradford gets tapped on his 5-bagger.
Yes. So this leadoff match could be swinging again.
It could be. This is going to be a crucial spare for Bradford at the top. And he gets it. Never a doubt. Oh, another great shot.
There is a 5-bagger.
That 4th frame that he took a little bit of time to just get warmed up. He's been absolute perfection coming off the bench.
Yeah, that is definitely a substitution that's been absolutely spot on. Work to perfection.
Yep. And still just a little bit off in that 3-hole.
Yeah.
Bailey gets the spare, so he's come off with 2 marks in a row from the bench. Oh, and punches out the middle. So again, this is going to be a big shot coming up for John to keep that momentum going, keep capitalizing on the strikes, and keep that distance closed in total that 3-hole has.
Yeah.
Great shot over on the Eclipse side.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse's now got a double of her own working coming home.
Oh, and a punch. All right.
This now gives John a chance to take control of his match, but also bring back some of the arrears for total.
And he punches.
Punches.
That tightens things up quite a bit.
Well, then Drew certainly didn't get as much of the wood as he would have liked to have gotten there. In this match, every pin could be critical.
Yeah. And another miss over on Eclipse. Mike looking to get the 5 spare here and keep that match super tight. So be a good opportunity for Mary Jo if she throws that strike to get a little bit of a distance going into frame 10. And a great smooth shot from Mike Elder.
Yeah.
No strike. Yeah.
There we
Great
go.
shot.
Whew, this is another close one.
24 pins.
So we've got 2 doubles working up at the top over on the Pin Sanity side. one double in the middle for Eclipse, couple spares working across the board. It's going to
a
come down.
24-point game.
Coming down. This is going to be a big shot for Justin. See if he can swing this back to his advantage. Bradford throws the strike on his spare. And Justin punches.
Pin.
That match is going to go to the Eclipse side. And that's big for total too, right? When you have that double working up there and then you throw the punch on it.
Yeah, because it doesn't give you as much score as you'd like, and then can't understress the effect on the momentum for the team too.
Right.
Makes it a lot easier for the next person to maybe want to press a little bit.
So Bradford punches on his double in 10. 3, I think it says 3. I can't read it. 356?
296.
Wow, my math is a little off. It was blurry. I couldn't read it. Another great strike over on the Pin Sanity side. So capitalizing on those doubles, that match is definitely in the hands of Pin Sanity. And he's just doing whatever he can to get some more momentum for team total. Bailey with the open in 10. So that's not going to help Eclipse to get any extra points there. And this match is now super tight in total. Little bit quick on that one.
Yeah. You could tell he perhaps wanted it just a little bit too much, maybe.
Little bit. So this is going to be huge balls for Jessie Bailey coming in 10. She has the double working. Other than this, they really only have that spare working at the bottom, so they need to put as many points up as they can from these shots here. Oh, and just a little quick for her also.
Oh.
Not get the spare. Tapped on that one. She's definitely won her point, but that just put team total very interesting. So Eclipse has 1165 to 1126. They already have their third bowler done. And another plow over on the Pin Sanity side. That match just couldn't get going.
Yeah, and that right there is going to may wind up being the difference in total.
Yeah.
We'll try and do ball for ball here.
That's a big strike over here on Eclipse side for Drew. Not only for total, but also for his match, because that match is still achievable.
Yeah. We can put a little bit of pressure on John and maybe put himself in a position where even just one misstep for John might be enough.
Throws the second one. Oh, no, 5 spare, sorry. Throws 5 spare. So John is going to be looking to put up some big points here in the 10th frame.
Give Mary Jo a chance here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And Mike misses. And John misses. So John has enough to get his point. So far we have Eclipse has taken the first point and the third. Pin Sanity has taken the 2 and the 4 hole. So it's 2-2 right now. Mike gets the spare,
There.
and John gets his spare. And Mary Jo still has that strike working at the bottom.
Right.
What did Mike do on his last ball, sorry?
He missed left, I believe.
It's left. So it's 12-20.
So Mary Jo is only going to need 11 here to tie, 12 to get the point, to get the third point for Pin Sanity, but still
Needs the first
really,
one for to have a shot at total.
right.
God, nice shot.
Great shot.
Great shot by Mary Jo.
So now with that ball, extra ball of count still a 9, 22-point difference. Set of aces would tie it, give her a shot with the last ball to win it. Anything more than that, this is going to be a win for Pin Sanity.
Is it there?
It is there. Corner, but that's going to be enough.
Great shot. Mary Jo has been absolute money in that 10th frame for Pin Sanity the last couple games in that anchor position, throwing huge shots when she needs to.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
And that's going to be a 6-2 win for Pin Sanity. Another close game coming down to the wire.
All right. We'll grab our managers here, bring them into the fold. That. And we'll get our managers in here. So Pin Sanity, or Bailey Lawson from the Eclipse,
Hey guys.
and manager at the moment. 6-2 wins.
We'll start over with Bailey Lawson. First of all, how was your sleep?
It was good.
It was good. A little longer than the rest of your teams?
A little bit. I'll tell you, I never made that drive so quick.
Yeah, I bet.
I made it from Kamloops to Vernon in under an hour. So,
So one of the things we were talking about a little bit was, as we were knowing that you weren't in the bowling alley, but we were watching Bradford at the top struggling, going, this would be a prime time to be able to put a sub in.
yeah.
But then he ended up coming back, winning his match, throwing massive strikes to end the game. But how did that kind of affect the team as you were playing the game?
I did show up in the fourth frame, so like I was available from that point, but I totally fair because we did have, like, Bradford was struggling and then he got things going, but yeah, it definitely puts more pressure on the team when there is no spare available. So it is that dynamic that can suck sometimes, but I showed up.
You're here. You're here. And then what are you guys doing do you play right away again?
No, we have a break and then we play the Northern Knockouts.
So what are you guys going to do in that hour just to kind of regroup from this?
Probably just kind of hang out and
buy your team around.
Play poker.
Fair, just regroup. Thanks.
Okay, and for Pin Sanity, a great match. If I'm not mistaken, that's your first win of the season.
Is it? We hadn't noticed.
It was a well played. Obviously an exciting finish to it. Big compliments for that substitution for Scott. He came out huge, 255 for 7 frames there. So how does the team feel right now?
Pumped up. Yeah, pumped up. Ready to go.
And of course, you guys are right back in action next match. So how do you guys think you're going to keep the momentum going?
Just keep going. It's one match after the other, so we should be able to carry on. Thanks. Okay.
Terrific.
All right. Well, we'll let you guys go, and we'll bring you back for the next match. And enjoy this commercial. You have another knockout next.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, here we go. We got our next match up on us. We have Northern Knockouts versus Pin Sanity. Let's bring in our managers here right away. Welcome here, Darcy. How are you doing? How's everything up north?
Cold, very cold.
Did you guys get a lot of snow as well?
Oh yeah. We went from brown grass to probably about 2 feet of snow on the ground here in a matter of a week. So, and it's cold. It's like minus 35 today.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Yikes. Well, we're glad that you guys are there and ready to play some bowling. How's the team feeling this morning?
Well, everyone's in really good spirits. We have our Richard Beaulieu Classic this weekend. It's a trio tournament that we're doing in memory of Richard Beaulieu. He was a staple here in Dawson Creek for, I've been in bowling for 40 years, and I remember him from being a kid here. He was a pretty good guy. It's Richie's dad. So
Amazing.
Yeah. So everyone's in good spirits. We're having a lot of fun this weekend. I'm just hoping no body parts fall off and I get over the hangovers from last night. So
Good. So does that mean the house, like the whole center's full today?
we bowl our 2 matches, and then we actually have 2 2 more shifts coming up, to one at 12:30 and one at 5:30, and the house is full after that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're going to have, I think, 48 out of 50 teams on the tournament.
Wow. Amazing.
Excellent. And for Pin Sanity, obviously coming into this match on a bit of a high. So what do you guys do during the break just to stay loose?
Yeah, not much. Not a lot of times, a lot of time between frames to really relax. So, yeah, I think everybody's itching to get going again.
Okay, fantastic.
Away team.
Knockouts.
Knockout. You want to give us your lineup?
All right, so we have Rich leading off, and then Riley Bolio second, and Amanda McPherson third, Ryan Bolio fourth, and then Sasha will be anchor, and Tiana and Riley Latender will be on the bench, and Corley will be in the press box.
Amazing. And Pin Sanity, what are you guys up to?
We have Justin leading off, Veronica second, Nick, John, and MJ. Scott and Joni are on the bench, and Amy's alternate this game.
Amazing. All right.
Before we get going there, Carrie, I'm going to have to enter the new scoreboard, and that ID will change from 9 to 10.
Yeah, just send me a private message and I'll flip it over for you.
Sure thing.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Good luck to you, too. Good bowling.
Guys.
All right. Just full screen.
We're going to get that Pin Sanity scoreboard changed over to the right one here. And then we'll get this game going here.
Okay, and obviously they're playing back-to-back matches. So for both of you, playing and also playing in the Pro League, do you think that's an advantage or not? To be able to play back-to-back like this?
I think sometimes when you're coming off a win, it is an advantage. You have that momentum going already. You're ready to like just keep that going and keep rolling. I think sometimes having that break in between is nice when you're coming off a loss because it gives you a little bit of time to regroup, a little bit of time to maybe throw some practice balls or fix a little bit of timing issues if you had people who were punching, things like that. So I think when you're coming off a win, though, it's definitely an advantage to just keep it rolling.
Okay, for sure. So actually, it sounds like this, the way the match schedule is working out might be beneficial for both of the teams that we saw, with Pin Sanity right back into the fire and Eclipse getting some time to think about it.
I think so. Yeah, I think it definitely just gives them, especially with Eclipse, having Bailey show up a little bit late, gives him time to kind of settle in. It's never easy when you're late, you have to get there, you're like rushing, and then you get there and the adrenaline's high. So it's nice to have that break to just kind of come down a little bit. And I think it'll be good for them to have just some time to regroup. But yeah, if I were Pin Sanity, I'd just want to get back on the lane. All right. Looks like the scoreboard is looking pretty good here.
Yeah, we are all good to go. Can start firing away.
See who's going to get up in the lane first. Looks like Justin is ready to rock.
It's like he's nice strike for Richie to open up for the knockouts. Let's spare up for Justin.
Alrighty, so like the Northern Knockouts, if we can probably go over some rosters quick here. We'll just go over Knockouts, Katie, if you want to read off theirs, and then I'll have Tim read off Pin Sanity.
Okay, there's a lot of like hard names here, so I'll do what I can. But over on the Northern Knockout side, we got Richie
Bolio,
Riley Bolio, Ryan Bolio, Sasha Latondra, Riley Latondra, Amanda McPherson, Tiana Shields, and Coralie, help me.
Salachi.
Salachi. They told us that last week, I'm pretty sure, which is nice. Manager Darcy over at Hypertension Escape Lanes. So.
And for Pin Sanity, we've got Mary Jo McKenzie, Joni McLeod, Amy Spence, Veronica Collicutt, John Walsh, Scott Clays, Justin McRae, Nicholas McRae, manager Valerie Kneebone, and they're playing out of the Rustico Lions Club in North Rustico, PEI.
Perfect. So I was going to pull up the standings here because I know the Northern Knockouts, they are a little ways down. They need some big matches here. I don't think it's going to be enough to make playoffs, but we do know that there is kind of a relegation situation going on for Pin Sanity and the Eclipse. Pin Sanity with that win, hopefully another win here. They got a few games left. They can climb out of those bottom 2 spots, but the Eclipse are now
in danger.
Looking sketchy for them.
And it's also going to set the table up nicely for the final match of the day between the Knockouts and Eclipse, which could almost be like a relegation playout.
Yeah.
For sure.
We can kind of give a little inside scoop into how the league is filling out for the playoffs, and even next season, there's a lot of teams interested into joining this professional virtual bowling league, if you will. And we know some teams that really want in, so we're going to have to figure out a system. We've talked about relegation in the past, and a lot of the teams know about it. Having a little relegation tournament, we won't be kicking teams out, but they can earn their spot back in. So
it's going to be an interesting little off season.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea and sounds interesting. Any sense on when in the off season that those playoffs would take place?
Yeah, so we would probably be looking the bowling schedule, especially with the nationals and stuff, is so ridiculous. Even in the summer, we'd probably be having to looking late July, early August. Doesn't give much turnaround for if a team does win in relegation to get into the league. Obviously, because there's logo design, team concepts, all that stuff that kind of has to be flushed out before the league can even start. So we'll be working with those teams to kind of build out the concept ahead of time. Even though they may not get into the league, at least they have that option and get an idea for maybe the next season after that.
Right. That makes sense. And I mean, I think the relegation is kind of a nice way to solve the problem of how do you expand without making it unwieldy and huge. I think 24 is kind of a nice number for the league going forward.
Yeah. The only thought we've kind of had is maybe bumping it to 26 teams. I would kind of flesh out our scheduling issue because there are some teams that some nights they have only one match, and people do travel obviously to their home bowling center from a ways away, and it's not the most ideal situation for that. So if we do bump it to 26 teams, every team would play 2 games a week, no matter what. They wouldn't get that one-off situation, and lots of moving parts in the background, trying to make it easier for all the teams involved. But with such teams across Canada that want to be a part of this league, it's no longer the fact of, oh, you want in, we'll let you in. It's more of, okay, that's great. Let's make sure you're competitive, and let's make the league the best it can be. And hopefully the relegation does that for us.
I mean, it's one of those things that means even late season games between teams that are eliminated and can't make the playoffs, they're still playing for something.
Yeah.
For sure. Pin Sanity had a little bit of a rough start with those first couple bowlers. I mean, Justin did spare his 3-pin, no, he didn't spare his 3-pin, did he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Never mind. but they've come out swinging in frame 2. That's for sure.
Yeah. And on the knockout side, kind of the same thing. 3 marks in 1, 3 marks here now in 2. So this match is fairly even in the early going.
So Sasha was out with his brother Riley in Regina Classic here last weekend, and one thing that a lot of people picked up, the other competitors, Sasha rolls the ball behind his back, tosses it to himself. A lot of players were worried, like, how does that happen? And has he ever dropped it? And we haven't seen it, and I didn't see it at all at Regina Classic. He is pretty smooth with that move.
I should start doing that. Wow, that didn't sound very confident that I'd be able to like do it.
Yeah, sure.
I always find it interesting when you see bowlers with how shall I say unorthodox pre-shot routines and things like that. Like, you always wonder how they develop that.
And some people, like, they're very much like stuck in those routines, right? I mean, you see the usual ones of like people resetting like racks, or you see, the wiping the ball with the towel. But I mean, even when you look at John Walsh over on Pin Sanity taking a practice slide, right? Or throwing the ball behind the back, like things like that, where they're not necessarily the ones that you see frequently at tournaments.
Yeah, you don't want to say it's gimmicky, because it's obviously not. It's part of their pre-shot routine, but like, you'll never see somebody else doing that what Sasha does, or you'll never see. That's kind of one of the unique ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any others out there that catch my attention as much as that one did, especially the other players on tour. They were just really surprised that was a thing.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the Ontario guys, Matt Houston, I think, actually pointed it out.
I'm going to watch for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things too, that it's subtle enough that if you weren't actually looking for it, you might not see it.
Yeah, it's just quick and happens.
Yeah. Okay, so Pin Sanity's got 5 spare up top, corner miss here for Veronica.
It's a close battle already. 240 to 240. Couple sticks in between, but
Oh, great shot over on Pin Sanity side. Another 5 spare over on the knockouts. Both teams looking to keep things black up there.
Right. Well, it's nice to see Nick get that double, because I mean, he came off the bench in the first game and had a bit of a tough go of it to wrap up that game. So it's nice to see him get off the mark. So on a related point with that, I mean, we saw for Pin Sanity, we saw Scott come off the bench to great effect. But he's not in the lineup here. I would have thought maybe you might want to go with the hot hand off the start, or is this maybe a case that he's their designated closer?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that very well may be the case, right? Just he's throwing well. You can trust him to come off the bench, and I think that's kind of a point we've seen across the league is like, what do you do? Do you have that person off the bench that you can rely on, or do you just put the best team forward, and then if somebody hiccups, you bring somebody in that you're not quite sure if they're going to be great off the bench, but they're going to be at least as good as the player that's struggling, or if not better?
Yeah.
Not too sure.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it quite a bit, but and then also just those players that kind of get pigeonholed into that role, right? So great frame 3 by Pin Sanity. A little bit of a misstep over on the knockout side with an open in their 4-hole, and then Sasha punching in the third. So he's going to be looking to clean that up. They'll go into frame 4 with those 2 spares working, and hopefully they can get something rolling before commercial break.
Yeah. Because otherwise, yeah, with Pin Sanity having the doubles in 3 and 4, this total could start to get away from them fairly quickly. So. Getting back to having the reliable person on the bench, like you sometimes in something like the open format, you see the same thing. I've seen it done both ways. Like in a stepladder game, do you start your best 5, or do you go with your best 4 and the 6 bowler, hoping you can maybe get something out of them? Or it's always one of those things that bowlers will debate over a few Kool-Aids long into the evening.
Oh. Lots of head pins, lots of head pins.
Justin with a hiccup frame there.
Yeah.
Oh, he gets the push.
Wasn't sure. It looked like he was trying to will it over, and it listened.
Yeah.
Great shot by Veronica.
Very nice. That's a 4th miss in a row for Amanda. I mean, at least she spared the last 2, but you got to be thinking the managers might be thinking about a substitution pretty soon.
For sure. I mean, the only thing is, like, she still has 70 in the 4th frame with a mark working. Over on the other side with Nick punching in 4, she's going to be down at most 13 without that count.
Right.
So, I mean, her match is still close. I would say maybe giving her one more frame just to see what happens. But you're right. I think that's definitely one of those places where they're looking at, is there a change that needs to be made? They also might be looking at that top spot where there's been 3 opens in a row, 2 head pins. That one might be a place where they could start to take a look. But then they also have at the bottom, Sasha hasn't thrown a mark yet either. So, I mean, kind of one of those things where they're trying to probably pick and choose which is going to be the match that is going to get going. Like Sasha just threw the strike, and which are the places we need to like look at a change here. It's tough when there's like too many matches that could have that potential for a pull.
Right. And then I guess also the strategic or rules wise, they're going 4 men, 1 woman. So there's certain considerations that have to be made there to make sure you still have a woman playing every frame.
Yeah.
So this is a good frame for the knockouts. 3 strikes and a spare. And Pin Sanity's kind of slowed it down a little bit with now 3 head pins.
We've seen it many times where those head pins kind of turn into the make or break of the match, right? I know we've run into it personally on our own team many times this season where the head pins have just been that deciding factor, and we've seen it on other teams as well.
Mm-hmm. Again, this is probably a bigger shot than it should be for, given it's the fourth frame for Mary Jo, just to try to get some momentum going again. Just a little bit to the left.
See if she can get the spare here. Great shot.
Good shot.
That's the start she needs. I mean, it counts the same as a corner spare. She's working on the strike.
For sure.
It's true.
That is true. Count doesn't change.
It's basically like hitting the middle. So great job.
Semantics.
It's girl math.
Just the chop for Justin there.
Doesn't get the corner to go. It looked like it wanted to, but just not quite enough on it.
I would imagine a lot of these players on the Northern Knockouts are playing in this weekend-long tournament as well, obviously.
Yeah, I would think. Oh, great half.
Yeah. Yeah, I would expect so. Because I think it was in memory of one of the Bullius.
Yeah.
And given that about half their team is a Bulliu, I would be surprised if they weren't playing, and probably playing a lot.
Yeah. Living at the bowling alley this weekend. Another great shot over there by Riley. And that one was just pushed over to the left by Veronica.
Good spare. I think I asked this the last time they were on. Hypertension Escape. That's in Dawson Creek.
Correct. Yeah, they just had a big intercity tournament here, same weekend as Regina Classic, where they have GP, I believe Fort St. John, Dawson Creek. I want to say Prince George, but it might be too far away. I'm not too sure. But they all go out there and they play it's like a mini open just for the northern cities in between the two provinces.
Yeah.
That's a nice, neat idea.
Yeah. BC has a few of those. They have the interiors as well, down in the Vernon, Kelowna area. So they have like small open style tournaments kind of throughout the year.
It makes a certain amount of sense because BC's kind of got like 3 isolated clusters of population.
Yeah, exactly. We hear about it because GP is very proud of they're the only city out of Alberta that gets to play in those BC tournaments. So they're always talking about it.
Big double on the board over for the Northern Knockouts.
Yeah.
John Walsh looking to get back on his string of strikes after a head pin in 4. Which he does. Sasha doesn't quite get the push to get his double, but with a spare here, that's still a great frame for the knockouts. And Mary Jo looking to capitalize on her spare.
The match is still so close.
Just 5 points in it right now.
I mean, both teams are doing a great job of making spares as we miss a spare on the lane, but both teams have been doing a really good job of really covering those spares, getting as many black marks on as they can, getting those counts when they can. And that's what's keeping total close here, because neither one is really running away with a string of strikes, but they're both doing what they can to just keep plugging away at it.
Exactly. And Northern Knockouts halfway through with 5:03. Not the craziest of starts, but they got a double working and 2 spares. Ooh, Mary Jo thought she gets that.
Didn't look confident, but she gets that. And they have 3 spares and a strike working going into the second half with 5:34.
Perfect. Enjoy the commercial break.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, here we go. Last half of this match, we have 5:03 to 5:34 in favor of Pin Sanity.
Looks like we got 5 balls of count for each side. So yeah, just a very slight advantage for the Pin Sanity. Be interesting to see who comes out all hopped up from the break.
Team's looking for a quick spare here. Tiana went in for Rich.
Justin gets him going with that right corner spare. And Tiana just looking to get comfortable there so she can get something going starting in frame 7.
Shot looked a little high on the head pin, but Veronica was able to get a chop out of that. Couldn't quite get that corner to go.
And it looks like we have Scott in for Veronica over on the Pin Sanity side.
Also received a message that Riley L will be going in for Sasha L. Brother for brother.
We're making all the changes in the 6th frame. 3 out of the 4 pulls so far.
A good count there for Nick on his spare. Amanda cleans up her wood.
So not the hottest start for the teams coming out of that commercial break.
No, just the one spare for Justin between them through 6 bowlers in total.
And another miss over on the knockout side.
Not what they were hoping for after a 3-minute break. A little bit of convo probably between players, a little bit of fun, and then you come back and it's it's hard to find the middle again. What the heck?
Yeah, we're playing.
There we go. So we got our first spare on the board for the knockouts. Another little bit of a miss over on the Pin Sanity side for John.
That's something that is unique, obviously, to the Pro League. The Open doesn't have it. You don't have that mid-game break. It's hard to stay engaged, right? You just let the mind wander or whatever that situation is.
Yeah, spare there for John. And I would imagine that's a little bit of personal preference too. Like I'm sure some people, they want to just get out of the pit and wander around a bit. And I guess some of them maybe would like to go over a few lanes and throw a couple more balls to stay loose. Especially if they've been fighting it.
Yeah, the 3 minutes doesn't seem like much. Probably when you're watching, because the 3 minutes gives you something to, if you're not watching the advertisements, you're going and grabbing, you're taking a washing break, where in the pit, the 3 minutes seems to last for quite a while. So you sit there and have a conversation with somebody, or you take the moment to go have a washing break or whatever the situation is. So it just takes you out of that element. And I think that's why we see such differences after a commercial break. You can come in hot because your mind is reset, or you can go cold because you're just not engaged in the same moment.
Yeah. So Pin Sanity gets out of the first frame out of the commercial break with 3 spares. And over on the knockout side, they just have the 1 spare working in the 4-hole. Lots of these matches are so close right now. I mean, you have the advantage over on the Pin Sanity side for match 1 with that spare working in 6. Over on the knockouts, they have the advantage in frame or in the second spot with the 153 to 106. So about a 50-point advantage there. But then as you go down, the 3rd hole, it's basically 20 pins. The 4-hole is even closer than that. And at the bottom, it's right close and tight. So team total is right there for either team at this point.
Yeah.
It's a good shot for Tiana. With Justin's head pin, that leadoff match will get a little bit closer.
Seems like Justin's had a few times he's been a little bit quick on his feet and falling out of his shot at the line a bit.
Yeah.
It's not playtime.
Riley leaves the middle up. Let's give Scott a chance to bring the second match closer. Again, just a reminder that he had a 255 for 7 frames off the bench in the previous match.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball well.
A little bit quick there.
Do you get that sense that like, oh, last time I came off the bench really hot, I got to do that again? So you have that little bit of adrenaline coming in and give it a little extra.
I think probably it's hard not to, right? You're living on that high of like, I just came in and like threw massive. You probably are trying to channel that same feeling again.
Ryan throwing a really solid game there in the 4-hole.
Mm-hmm.
The one mistake in frame 3.
And over for Pin Sanity, Scott did pick up that spare.
We were talking about Riley there. In the opening, he wasn't obviously in the opening roster, but he was in Regina as well, and he made the cut. Played phenomenally well, having to average 279 plus just to make the cut.
Yeah. He also, was it Riley that also made the cut at TPC?
That's a great question. I wish I had that on cue for you.
Sorry. I'm pretty sure there was another Northern knockout that made the cut at TPC as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was Sasha or Riley.
I can't remember.
1 second. I will find out that information.
Looks like a head pin there for John. 3 strikes up and 7 for the knockouts.
It was Sasha. Sasha was the one that made the cut.
Oh, okay.
It sure looks like 7th frame has been the 6th frame, but just in reverse.
Yeah, lots of strikes. Couple opens for the knockouts. Couple head pins over for Pin Sanity.
It's another miss for Mary Jo. Looking to pick up the spare here. Try to keep 3 marks on the board for her team.
Oh, and just misses. Almost looked like a little bit of an overcompensation. Making sure she didn't blow it past and just went the other way.
For sure. So with 3 frames to go, it looks like 691 for the knockout, 719 for Pin Sanity, but there's those 3 strikes versus 2 spares are potentially the difference right now.
Yeah, Justin starting to
shot.
feel it now.
Nice double for Tiana. Again, took a little bit of a sixth frame to find her bearings, but it's come out firing since then.
Riley Bolio leaving that corner.
The way Scott was walking that one off, I think he thought he had a strike, and the pin said otherwise.
Yeah, it's always how they react, right? You think it's great, the pins, no, not so much.
Misses the mark over on that knockout side, those single pin spares. They are out of pulls, though, so he is going to just continue plugging along at it.
Well, and for Riley, it's definitely starting to look like a tale of two halves here. His first half, he didn't really put too many feet down wrong, and he's really fighting it right now.
Great shot by both of them, that eighth frame.
Yeah. Ooh, head pin.
John trying to keep close with Ryan there. Ryan obviously opening in 8 there gives Johnny spares this. He's right in it within a ball.
Yeah. Just looked a little quick there. Missed it to the left. And then missed it to the right. Good shot for Riley there to keep 3 strikes up on the board for the knockouts in 8.
Keeping team total close.
Yeah. Mary Jo is missed again. Definitely be looking to pick up the spare here. Especially when you consider that the knockouts have 2 doubles on the board.
Yeah. They're going to need to put something up there.
Yeah. This sure looks like it's setting up for another exciting 9 and 10 finish.
Thirty-one pins. That's all that separates these two teams with 2 frames to go.
It might even come down to which team can string together 2 or 3 turkeys. Even like John Walsh's turkey to start the game is the only time anybody's gotten past a double.
Oh, great shot.
Good shot.
Great shot. Yeah, there we go. Triple.
And so that match has got 1 point difference, both on a double coming home.
It's going to be close. Little bit of a miss over on the knockouts. It just doesn't get quite on target for Scott.
Yeah.
A spare here, though. I mean, over on Riley's side, he missed his spare. So if Scott can spare this, he's in a good position going into 10.
Yeah. Especially now that Riley's gone miss, and left the middle up. So that's now 4 opens in a row.
Gets the spare. Another big ball over on the knockout side for Amanda.
Gives them a lot of count.
Oh, Nicholas. Punch there.
So that has swung the 3-spot match over to slightly in favor of the knockouts. Great shot. Ryan with a little hiccup in 8th there with the head pin, but right back on it. Nick does a good job cleaning up his head pin.
Riley looking for this double here. Yeah, big double.
That's it.
That's a really good 9th frame, obviously.
That would be almost exactly how they drew it up.
Yeah.
Looked like a decent enough shot for John. Just couldn't get that left corner to go again.
Knockouts have really capitalized on the marks that they had working in 8 to give themselves a little bit of a cushion going into the last frame here. John gets the spare. They want to get as many marks on the board as they possibly can right now. So Mary Jo is going to be looking for that strike here as well.
Yeah, she had a bit of a slowdown here in this last part of this game. But as we've seen, Mary Jo finishes strong and don't expect anything different here.
Yeah, it would not surprise me in the slightest if this comes down to Riley against Mary Jo in the anchor spot with perhaps 4 points on the line.
Yeah, bomb there.
And there's that great shot
Great
that
shot.
we've seen from her in 9 and 10.
So we got 7 points in it right now.
947 to 940. Lots of strikes working over on the knockout side with a couple doubles on the board as well. We do have the double over on Pin Sanity at the top, a strike and a spare at the bottom. So lots of marks for both teams. It's just going to see who can win the 10th frame.
Okay, so it's going to be Justin that's going to get us started here.
Shot.
Oh, and he gets it. He's so
go.
fired up. That's a huge shot.
Oh,
And with the punch over on the
good
knockout side. That was a great run coming off the bench. Unfortunately, just not quite enough on the 10th frame to finish it. But so Justin's going to take that first point. And he's going to be wanting to put up as many of these as he can for team total. He punches.
just got that one. Yeah, it looks like he just got that one out a little bit too far.
Yeah, I definitely threw that one out far, but threw the first one when he needed it to get his individual point. That flushes out one of the doubles over for the knockout side. They have 978 going into the next bowler here. Versus
That's
the 1,000
240.
over on Pin Sanity.
Yeah, 249 for Justin, which is exactly the same as what he bowled in the previous match.
Mm-hmm. Riley misses the middle again over here. He has 191. So a big strike here from Scott is going to help him to take over the lead of this match. He is going to need to throw that first one, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much a game of two halves for Riley there. 5 marks in the first 5 and 5 opens in the last 5.
Gets his game up to a 201. Does he get the push?
No. Corner stood.
Corner stays up. So he can max out at 197. So that second point is going to go to the knockouts.
He can max out to. He can still spare this.
Oh yeah, never mind. You know what? This is why I don't do the math stuff. That's not my role here.
You got the spare. Great spare.
Amanda finishes with a 214. Oh, big strike there. So Pin Sanity takes the first 2 matches. Nicholas is going to be looking to get that big first one because his match is also well within.
Gets the strike. Ryan picks up the spare and that's on his strike count.
All right. And Riley's not wasting any time. He's just going to get up on the lane and go, it looks like. Giving Pin Sanity. They'll know what they need, that's for sure. Great game. Takes that third match, 222. So John Walsh right now is at 204 with a spare working in 9. Over on the other side, Ryan got to
268. So that match is over.
Yeah.
But John can certainly pile up some points here for the bottom.
Yeah, he can get to 264.
Which will be needed as Riley's up there on the lane and he's throwing strikes. Oh, and punches.
So now it's all about getting as many sticks as he can.
Get this as close as possible. Give Mary Jo a chance to close it out. And Riley's going to try and make it as hard as possible for her.
Riley punches. That makes things even more interesting. They're at 11:09 with a ball to go. Can get to a max of 11:14. Most likely, if they don't carry another side. So 11:11 is what Northern Knockouts are going to end with. And 2:15 for the bottom match. So Mary Jo is going to need to throw that first strike up here.
Yeah, big count and a spare will give her the single point and team.
throws the 5 side.
Still counting huge for team total, but now she needs the spare if she wants to take the point.
Take her point.
There we go.
Oh,
That's the
gets
spare.
the spare.
Got them all.
Wow. Another 10th frame where she comes in absolutely dynamite for them. 3 games in a row has thrown exactly what she's needed to in 10. And this is going to be a 7-1 win for Pin Sanity. Great day for them.
They've had
Fantastic.
their last few matches. They have definitely come a long ways. And like the totals haven't been massive, but they've been keeping close in matches and throwing the shots when they need them in the end.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all you can do is just give yourself a chance.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's get our team managers in here with us. And then, Pin Sanity, Ellen Clark with us, and Darcy. Knockout. So, Darcy, the hangover followed the knockouts into today, or a little bit of a rough go? Not the totals that we usually see you guys putting up. Obviously, just some single pin views and punching going on.
Yeah, no, we weren't. We definitely weren't as fluid and smooth as we normally are. But yeah, a lot of games this weekend and a little bit of a hangover. So, and it's our out of 10 matches so far this year, that's our 5th game that we've lost by under 70 points. So you got to be lucky to be good, right? So
we were kind of joking around about it, but we noticed like the teams today, the scores haven't been massive, but it's been all about the individual points. Like Pin Sanity's been really close in all the single points and just creeping over in the end, and then Mary Jo throwing the shots for team totals. Like that's what this whole league is about, is making sure that you pick up those points to keep your singles close and give your the shot to close it out. And Sanity proven again, you guys close out the match coming down to the last player. That's amazing.
Yeah. Pin Sanity, you guys had a fantastic day today. First 6 points and then 7 in this match. How's the team feeling?
Like we need to extend the season by another 12 weeks.
You guys are just coming into it. Mary Jo, one thing that we've kind of noticed in the last few matches, starting with the last time you guys were playing and then in today's 2 matches, Mary Jo in that anchor spot has just been exactly what it needs to take team total, and has been so solid. Is that something you guys are going to continue with as into the next season?
Yes, we are. Yes, she's doing a great job, Dan. Wonderful.
Great, yeah, amazing.
Well, we'll let Pin Sanity go. We know it's late in the afternoon for you guys, and the knockouts have a big match coming up here. And you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll bring you back after the commercial break.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Good luck with the rest of
Great
the
day
next match.
today.
good luck to you guys. Thank you.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centres across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
All right, let's get right into our next match here. We'll bring in our team managers. Bailey and Darcy, how you guys doing? You ready for this last match of the day?
Pardon? Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, we are too.
We just kind of vibing over here. Season's looking pretty grim at this point, so.
So Bailey, you guys came off a little bit of a loss this morning. You've had an hour break. What has the team been up to? How's morale doing going into this last game of the day?
Pretty good. We were just messing around on the lanes, just goofing around. So everyone's in good mood and happy. Hopefully this game goes well. So.
Okay, and Darcy for the knockouts, as you said in the post game to the previous match, you've had a lot of close games this season. Had a kind of a tough one this last one. How do you guys regroup for this match?
Well, you know, sometimes the hard lessons are the ones that you have to learn first, and we're every game that we lose like this, we're learning something more and more, and the guys were out there throwing balls. Rich and Sasha and Riley and Corley, they were out on the lanes throwing balls. There's no quit to this team. Like, there's desire. So you can't teach that. You can teach to overcoming the losses, but you can't teach the desire. So.
Great.
So Eclipse away team. What's your lineup look like?
We have Chris leading, followed by myself. Now that I'm here, Jesse, and then we have Mike in fourth, and then Drew is our anchor with Yvonne on the bench.
Okay.
And for us, we're going with Rich, and then Ryan, Corley, Sasha, and Riley. Riley Latender, and then Riley Bolio and Tiana are on the bench, and then Amanda sitting this one out because she's in the press box.
Best of luck in this last one.
Good luck to you guys.
Good luck.
Draw here. This is all me.
There we go. All right. Match.
Obviously, both these teams didn't fare so well against Pin Sanity today, so they're going to look to beat up on each other.
Yeah. Could be an interesting match, both coming off losses, so seeing how that motivates each team to push themselves a little bit further.
For sure. And I mean, looking at the standings, I mean, the Eclipse, it's kind of bleak for the playoffs, but they still mathematically have a shot, provided they get a lot of points down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were discussing in the previous match with relegation playoffs looming, and both these teams in danger of being in the bottom two of this division, this match certainly has got a little bit of extra spice to it.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Still playing for something, that's for sure.
And kind of going into the season, like seeing how these teams played last year, I didn't expect these two teams to be kind of battling for that, to stay out of the relegation area. I expected both of them kind of be in a playoff position. So it's very the parity in the league is definitely there. You don't see teams running away with too much. Next Gen is an exception this year. They've had a phenomenal season so far. But in the Cargill division, you see teams beat up on each other and nobody's been running away with it.
Yeah, for sure.
When you even see a situation like today where you had Pin Sanity, who only had 8.5 points going into today's matches. They were propping up the standings, and they came out and got 13 out of 16 points.
Yeah.
Both these teams off to a little bit of a slow start here. Two opens to start for the Eclipse. Over on the knockouts, we had the one strike at the top and then an open. Another little miss over on the knockout side for Coralie. Maybe while we get these first few frames out of the way, we can do a little bit of lineups here. I'll read off the Eclipse lineup here.
Oh, there.
We're both pressing the button at the same time. So over on the side, we had Bailey Lawson, Yvonne Walker, Drew Soroka, Alan Byrne, Chris Bradford, Trevor Wachowski, Mike Elder, and Jesse Buchanan, which I have to apologize. In the first match, I definitely said Jesse Bailey, and it is not. There's just too many Jesse B's coming out of BC right now. And then they have player manager Bailey Lawson playing out of Lincoln Lanes over in BC. And on the other side, want to read this one?
The Northern Knockouts, Richie Beaulieu, Riley Beaulieu, Ryan Beaulieu, Sasha Latondra, Riley Latondra, Amanda McPherson, Tiana Shields, and Coralie Salachi. Managers Darcy Latondra, and they play out of the Hypertension Escape in Dawson Creek, British Columbia.
Amazing. All right, so a couple more marks up on the board here. Jesse throws that right corner spare, and then a strike for Mike Elder, and a spare to end the frame over for Drew. Sasha missed his right corner spare. And a chop off for Riley.
It's a little bit as if the teams are feeling themselves out and feeling the other team out. Just get a sense of where we are. Strike and a spare for the knockouts. 2 spares and a strike up for Eclipse.
All right. Let's see if Bradford can get something going here. He started off a little slow last time he was on the lanes, but then finished with that massive finish.
After he heard that we were thinking that maybe he would be getting pulled if Bailey would have been there.
See if he can spare this chop off.
Ooh, a miss for the right corner spare.
You get a chop spare there.
Oh, and another headpin for Bailey. Lots of letters so far in this match.
And very few of them have been X's.
Yeah, true.
Chop spare there for Ryan. Really gets a little bit more on this headpin than the one in the first frame.
All right. Jessie looking to capitalize on her spare here. Just lays it down a little bit. Doesn't get it quite to the middle. And a great shot by Corley.
Jesse can't quite get the spare there, taking out the headpin only. Nice shot for Sasha. Leaves the left corner.
See if he can capitalize or spare this one up. Misses another corner spare. But over on the other side, Mike punches on his strike. So even with those two missed spares, that match is going to remain fairly close.
It is. Yeah, it'll be about 10, 12 points in it after two frames.
So realistically, got out of that a little bit lucky, because with two missed corner spares, that could have easily been, down.
Could be 30, 40 points very easily.
And Riley gets a little bit of a kickback to get that strike. Great frame for the Northern Knockouts. Other than that one missed corner or two missed corner spares, nothing but marks up there. And a great strike for Drew at the bottom.
Yeah, and given the three opens in front of him, kind of get the sense the team might have needed that one.
That's a little better. It wasn't 7-12, it's 1-7-2.
Be a heck of a start.
Yeah. On fire.
Great strikes there. All right, we'll see if Bailey can finally get something going here after a couple head pins to start the game. He finally throws the strike while Ryan over on the other side punches on his spare. And that's going to make that match pretty close too.
Great shot. Jesse finds the range again for the strike, and that's 3 up and 3 strikes down for the Eclipse here in the third frame.
Mike looking to keep it going. Just a little outside. Coralie looking to get her double and take a little bit more of a lead over Jesse, which she does.
That was a great shot. Mike makes the spare.
All right. Sasha looking to maybe get a strike so he doesn't have to go after any of those 2 pins anymore. Oh, and a head pin.
Spare for Drew.
So that's a pretty clean frame.
That is a very good frame for the Eclipse. Sasha cleans up the wood. I mean, although he's had the 3 opens, 43 isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need to figure something out, though. I'm assuming his leash is maybe getting a little short here, especially as we see Mike has 2 marks out of the first 3 frames. Not going to want to let that continue too much longer.
Right. Yeah, especially with total being close and with that match being relatively close. Ooh, that's a big miss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's keep the team total close, but obviously still only the 3rd frame, and they're only a ball.
Lots of room to go. Yeah.
So what do we have here? We got 8 points difference. But that is a wall of marks for the Eclipse in 3.
Little bit of a misstep there for Richie.
Yeah.
First time we've seen this middle. But quickly recovers, gets that spare. Bradford throws the double. Bailey looks like he's dialed in now. He's found it. Yeah. He throws a double as well. See if Jesse can keep the
momentum going. Oh, that didn't go.
Ryan doesn't get the push on the corner. Oh, and a punch for Jesse.
This one will give Coralie a chance to put some distance in the 3rd match.
Mm-hmm. Jesse gets that big side. Oh, and Coralie gets a corner. So great count. And definitely gives her a little bit of that cushion that she wants going into the second half.
Definitely want to make sure of this spare, though, especially with the 2 doubles up top for the Eclipse.
And Mike just a little wild there.
Corley picks up the spare. That was better from Mike.
Nice smooth shot that we know and love from him. Oh, great ball over by Sasha. Finally has found that strike ball.
Yeah. And
And
equally nice by Drew.
Yeah.
And in the case of Sasha, you got to wonder if in the back of his mind he also wasn't thinking, I better throw this one, or my day might be done early.
Might be done.
And Riley just not quite getting it there.
Teams will be looking for something to stabilize their matches in frame 5 right before the commercial break. Riley Bolio is going in for Ryan.
We've seen our first pull. Not 2-hole. That pull makes sense to me. I mean, when you look at that spot, we have 3 out of 4 frames are open frames. 2 of them missing the middle. You look at the other side, Bailey started with the 2 head pins, so gave him a little bit of wiggle room to try to figure it out, but didn't really. And then Bailey ended up finding it and through the double. That just means that Ryan's out of time. You got to make the pull and try to give someone else a chance to come in and match what Bailey's doing. Bradford on a heater again, throwing another strike up there before the commercial break.
Yeah, and unlike the last game, he's not waiting till the second half to get going.
He didn't want to listen to me talking about how I would pull him again. 3-pin over here from Riley. And Bailey just about gets the turkey to follow Bradford's, but leaves that corner hanging.
Good spare there for Riley.
And Bailey gets his corner spare.
Corley up now. She's been playing quite well so far this game.
Throws another great shot. Jessie misses her spare. So with that, she's going to be at a max of 78 after 5. Or no, sorry, 79 after 5. And Corley spares hers, so she has a commanding lead in that 3-hole.
Yeah. And that's kind of why total's going to still be reasonably close. Good shot for Sasha. Gets his double up. That's something the knockouts desperately needed, was to at least get a double up there to match what Bradford has up top.
Yeah. Mike Elder easily spares that 12. So he's keeping his string of marks alive. And Drew looking to double up here at the bottom. Punch over for Drew. Riley punches a 3-pin. And I think we're seeing our second pull over on the knockouts.
I think that is.
Yep. Here comes Tiana. I think that's another one that just makes sense, right? I mean, Drew punches a head pin in 5, which puts a stop to his run of marks, gets him to about a 130. And if they put in someone new here who might have an opportunity, they're down 70 going into the last half. There's still a chance if they can start getting some strikes together here. Those 3 misses in a row at the bottom, you have to do something.
Yeah, we like to say how anchors have an extra degree of freedom, but even that runs out eventually.
Yeah. All right. So looking at this here, we have a couple marks on the board, some spares and a double working for the knockouts. Over on the Eclipse side, there is that double at the top and a few marks throughout the lineup. And we're going to head to the commercial break and go into the last 5 frames.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.
So we are back. 561 for the Eclipse. Looks like 483 for the knockouts.
See if Chris can keep his triple working here.
Head pin.
The black cloud.
And a strike over on the northern knockout side for Richie. Bradford looking to clean up his head pin.
At least he got the right side to maximize the count in 5. But he leaves the left side up.
Ryan misses his spare attempt. So that match, he's still looking to try to get something going there. Or Riley, sorry, not Ryan. Riley's in for Ryan.
Bailey leaves a corner again, but gets the solid count to further extend his lead.
So basically, the difference we see between that Bailey and Riley match is kind of the same flipped as what we see in that Corley Jesse match. And we know that Yvonne's going in for Jesse. And Corley just keeps on going. Another strike on the board for her. And a head pin over for Yvonne.
Teams are just finding it hard to build momentum, right? You got a few players that are playing really good. The other players are just kind of hanging in there.
Yeah, that's been. The one possible exception might have been for their stretch in the first match today, where both teams had it going for a few frames. But yeah, it's definitely been the trend today.
All right. Mike looking to start throwing some strikes here instead of the spares. I mean, he's been keeping it black, which has kept him in his match, but he's going to be wanting in this second half to really turn it on and start throwing those strikes at the middle. He punches on his spare, and over on the knockout side, there was an open frame on the doubles. So this match is actually within just a couple points.
Right.
Mike gets the side, so that puts him in the lead.
It's not going to be by too much.
No, a maximum of 8 here if he cleans up his head or his other side. Tiana almost gets the push.
Mike only gets the 2 pin going for that right side, so his advantage is 5 points through 6. Chop off for Drew.
And she missed her spare, but gets the cleanup. So she's at 86. Over on Drew's side, he missed his spare. So he'll be at a max of 145. So really, other than that 4-hole, none of the matches are like super close, could go either way. It's kind of like one side has a couple matches that are a blowout. One side has a couple matches that are a blowout. So that's what's keeping team total pretty close here.
And coming out of the commercial break, neither side really set the world on fire.
Nope. Three pin for Bradford.
So now gives Richie a chance if he can double up to, and he does, makes that match now quite a bit closer.
And it looks like a 3-pin over on the knockout side. You know a thing or two about 3-pins, hey, Carrie?
Yeah, been there once or twice.
Misses left.
Not quite as good as sparing them as I've seen some of these players out here. pretty good at it. I really wish I could spare them. That would make my life a lot easier.
Or you could just not get them.
What?
Oh, that's a concept.
The problem is when I miss, it's very rarely a side. It's usually cherry's a 3-pin. That's
You
annoying.
shouldn't miss as much then.
I don't miss very often.
Well, miss enough that I've seen you throw a lot of 3-pins.
Shot.
Great strike over by Yvonne. And this is a little bit of a miss from Coralie. We haven't seen that since the first frame, but she's been super solid and has that cushion that she can have a couple misses like that.
And if she can pick up the spares, it's not really a lot lost anyways.
Doesn't get the spare. Mike gets another 5-side spare. The saving grace of his game is that he's been able to spare all of those misses that he's had.
Yeah, being able to pick up the spares is, of course, huge in 5-pin. Shot there for Drew. Sasha punches. Eclipse will be fairly happy with this frame.
Yeah, for sure they will be.
Knockouts perhaps a little less so.
They're definitely going to be looking to the bottom to get a strike, to at least give them those bookend strikes and get out of this 7th frame. Give them something to work on in frame 8. Let's see if we can get that big strike up on the board.
I mean, she was close in 6. It was a good enough shot that it could have gone. And she gets it.
So 70 pins difference, 3 frames to go. Eclipse with the slight lead. Knockouts with that double working up top, though. That's big.
For sure.
Chop on the double. Bradford throws a strike.
Picks up the spare for Richie.
Try and keep it up bowler by bowler here. 3 frames to go.
Bailey with a good shot. First strike since the 4th frame, but he made all those corner spares to keep his score ticking over.
There's a great shot.
Definitely stopped the bleeding with that one. See if Coralie can get back on the mark. Yvonne with a bomb.
Yep.
Let's see. After the head pin in her first frame off the bench, that's now a double.
Mike is going to be wanting to keep those strikes rolling for the Eclipse. Great shot. Oh.
Just doesn't want to go.
No. It's a great count on the spare. And still another way to keep him in his match.
He's now up 20 through 7.
Oh, and he misses the corner spare.
Sasha got tapped, and if he can pick up the spare, that'll give him a chance to get the 4th spot a little bit closer. Drew with the big double for the Eclipse. That gives them, they'll be fairly happy with the 8th frame with 4 strikes, and 2 of them give them doubles. Tiana throws the strike as well. Knockouts can't be displeased. They've got 5 marks up in 8.
Lead is extended to 90 now. Couple doubles working. Ooh, tapped.
Shot gets tapped. Ooh, slides it over. It's a big double for Chris.
Gets the spare over on the knockout side. That match is very close. Bailey with another bomb. He's finally awake, you guys.
Game and a half. Game and a half.
Took him a game and a half and an extra 45 minutes of sleep, but here he is. He came to play.
O'Reilly gets tapped.
Oh, just doesn't get that.
Shot.
And misses over on the corner spare.
Yvonne picks up her spare. Now total is very quickly jumped out to close to 100. So it's going to be a split. That is a split.
Corley's been so solid this game. Just plugging away at the middle. Other than that 1 frame in 7, keeping all of her marks going. Another corner spare. It's a great game. So Sasha looking here, if he can throw a big count on this spare, that's going to give him a little bit of some, well, mini punches. So cleaning this up, he can get to a 164 maximum and against the 179. So he'll be down about 15 going into the 10th frame. Definitely not over if he can put a couple marks up on the board in frame 10, but
certainly made his job a lot more difficult.
Exactly.
He does pick up all the wood, so he will be down 15 coming home. Just looking at the totals, Eclipse with a very significant lead, and with those 3 doubles coming into 10, it's going to be very difficult for the knockouts to peg this back. But if they're going to do that, Tiana needs to throw this one. And she does. Great shot.
Great shot. Yeah, a great shot by her. All right, coming into 10th frame.
100 pins exactly. 10th frame.
I've seen stranger things happen. Even with the Eclipse having those doubles, 100 pins is nothing. You start getting a little bit punchy on the Eclipse side and the knockouts start rolling. It's anybody's game.
Yeah.
I've been on both ends of it, so it happens. There's a great shot over on the knockout side. Bradford gets the chop off. Both sitting at 248. Bradford has one more ball to count. And Richie has that strike. So this game is tight. Bradford cherries the 3-pin. Get that guy a t-shirt. And a head pin over for Richie. 253. Bradford can max out at 256 if he this pin, which he does. So that is going to force Richie to take a side in order to win. Punch a 3-pin to get the tie.
The win.
And he leans up a side for the win. That was a big shot. All right. Bailey, we know, already has this match. He's looking to just keep putting pins up there for team total at this point. Sitting on the double.
Head pin.
Corner spare. Gets a mark. Gets something going here.
And it means he's going to win the frame. And if you're the knockouts, that's what you have to be doing here. If you're down that much, is just keep chipping away a little bit at a time.
Yep. Throws the strike. So he got the 30 in 10. Got his match up to a 167. Obviously not enough. This next match, we know Eclipse are down quite a bit. Coralie is going to take this point. So they'll be up 2-1. A side miss over for Yvonne.
Big shot for it's a huge ball, especially with the miss open.
So this next one is one ball apart, the fourth match.
Oh, just doesn't get the push. Gets the spare. He's going to need to put that strike up there.
And the strike would guarantee at least half a point. Nice game for Coralie. Punched the second ball, but 286. Ooh, Sasha gets the first one. We've still got some excitement here.
Yeah.
Drew misses left on his double.
Oh, Sasha.
Oh,
Big double.
Big double. So five here will tie it.
Any more will take the win and put huge points for the team total. It's within range now. Oh, half a point.
A tie there. And what are they at? 1086?
Looks like 1086.
Yeah.
So that is 87 with a
Needs
possible
them all.
90 still to go. double corner to get total by 1.
Oh,
Oh no.
Looks like it wanted to go.
it did. It looked like it was one of those ones where it was just going to push everything over.
Solid 5 frames off the bench for Tiana, though.
So am I correct? 5.5 to 2.5?
Looks like it.
That was a great match.
1, 2.5. Yeah, 2.5.
Amazing match for both teams. That could have flipped either way.
So many times over. Like it was just back and forth.
All right. We will bring our beautiful faces back into here and bring in our team managers. Bailey Lawson from the Eclipse and Darcy when he's around and available for knockouts. Great match, guys. That was exciting all the way to the end, till the last bullet.
Yeah, nothing to complain about there. It was
Good bowling.
pretty close, but you like those close matches much better than the blowouts. So
Yeah. Keeps it interesting for everyone.
yeah.
So obviously, I think you have some games left for the Eclipse. If we look at here, you guys have 2 more matches to go. Not in the greatest situation, obviously, probably in sitting third last. So, what is the plan for the rest of the season? Playoffs look a little bit out of reach at this moment, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking?
Well, we just plan to finish out the season. Obviously, do the best we can, and throw our games, and then kind of look forward to the next season. But we do have a couple of things to consider because we have we're playing out of Vernon, so Vernon might be getting sold here pretty quick. So that's still up in the air, and at that point, it would be evaluating where we could play because we're all kind of spaced out. So could be some changes coming to the team next year. So that. So we'll see.
For sure. Obviously, Darcy, the knockout season is complete. With the current situation, it looks like it might be you guys will be involved maybe in a relegation tournament later in the summer. I know that's probably a lot to process right at the moment. How does the team feel? I know Riley and Sasha have shown a lot of success out on tour at the moment. Is the team looking forward to building up on that and towards the relegation tournament? How are you guys all feeling? I guess the season probably wasn't the way you guys expected.
Well, go into this, you want to think that you're going to make the playoffs, but that just goes to show the talent and the quality of bowlers that are on these teams. So, we just had our 6th game where we lost by under 70 points. We instead of going 0-6, we go 3-3. It's a totally different season.
For sure.
So, but I look at it as growth. We didn't rely on just Sasha and Coralie this year and Rich. We building ourselves up as a team, and that's more important in the long run.
Yeah.
Sure.
Any questions or anything you guys want to talk about before we let you go and wrap up the show?
I didn't bring my purple shirt, but
I think I'm good.
I'm good
Thanks
too.
for the cast.
Yeah, we'll see you guys down at the Open.
You bet.
Yeah, see you then.
Yep.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. DJ.
Bye, all.
Thank
All right. Well, another show, week 15 all wrapped up. Some really close matches. I know these were the teams that were kind of fighting at the bottom division, but they played unreal. That's great bowling.
It was nice to see a couple close matches and not just blowouts one way or another, but every game was coming down to the wire and makes it a little bit more entertaining for us. So it was good.
Yeah, there was some great action, especially in the 9th and 10th frames in anchor, and in most of the cases, the substitutions that the managers made were spot on. Those bowlers came in and played outstanding.
Yeah, for sure.
Such great play. I know the totals probably weren't blowout totals for the rest of the audience to watch or what they come to expect from the 5PL, but that just shows the nitty grittiness of the league, and what it comes down to is picking a corner pin here, not chop cherrying on certain hits, and
yeah, for sure.
The crazy hard part about 5-pin bowling.
Yeah, all those little things.
It's amazing how narrow the margins can be at this level.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can't thank you again, Katie. Tim, thank you very much for co-commentating with me and getting through the technical issues that we always seem to rise during the 5PL, but slowly getting better and better, and enjoy talking to both of you every time we get to commentate together.
You too. Thanks, guys.
It was awesome.
All right,
Thank you.
Enjoy the commercial, and we'll probably hopefully see our audience at the next podcast. All right. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
When you come to the Canadian Brewhouse, you'll feel right at home. We work hard to make our house your house. With an affordable menu of appetizers, entrees, desserts, beverages, and killer deals on daily specials. At our house, you never miss a play. As sports lovers, we've ensured each location includes over 50 TVs and our signature Jumbotron. The Canadian Brewhouse is the place people want to be.